Hello, and welcome to another tantalising taste of Landmark Beta with me, Binage. Um, Pardon the squeaky chair. Um, yes, if you hear squeaks in the background, it's the chair, not my bones. I'm not that old yet. You may notice some different scenery behind me, and the different scenery belongs to a completely new server map. And the server is called Foundation Museums, and I'm currently on the Dark Elf Museum Island. If I call up the map, you will see. Let's pull out a bit. Here we are. And this is the place where all the competition winners from a recent Dark Elf build competition are being stored and displayed, which is great. One thing that's a bit odd, well, I imagine there will be other Dark Elf competitions in the future, but the Portal Spires are here, and all the contest winners are here, and although that may not look like much of a swim, I assure you it is. It takes quite a while to swim across there, but I recommend it anyway. It's entirely possible that you'll be able to find these in the showcase. I haven't tested that out because, you know, I'm stupid like that, but you might want to. It's well worth a visit. There's some really nifty craftsmanship on display. This is by Fugatseed that I'm standing at here. The only thing is that Dark Elf builds tend to be very tall, and most of these are, which means that well, it's kind of difficult to get a really good sense of how big they are without. I mean, even if you let's try and there we go. Even at maximum zoom, you still need to run back a bit to get the whole sense of it. But some very, very impressive stuff on display here. I do recommend you come here. If you give me just a second, I will show you how you get here. So here we are, back on point, and I'm going to show you how to get to that museum world. So we click on the portal stone here, and you see here, Foundation Museums. You click on that, and at the moment the only island there is the Dark Elf Museum, but obviously they will be adding the next one. I imagine will be Keren. So you'll be able to sort of pick which culture you want to look at, just to give you an idea of what to build and maybe how to build, just to get some inspiration for any builds that you may be considering to fit in with EverQuest Next. Anyway, that's that. Now let's head back to home. I'll say the view distance is I think it's better now than it was. Here you see my Keren workshop, and then behind that the tea house, and there's the floating cottage there, and behind that the actual cottage. So that's interesting. I was going to cut to do the run back, and I will, because it takes a minute. But before we do that, I just wanted to show you one thing. For anyone who was in any doubt about this sandy area not being an inland sea, or not going to be an inland sea, I can assure you that according to the animations... and there it goes, it doesn't animate. Let's see if it does it this time. There we go. You saw the dive animation there. Let's see if I can get it to do again, just to prove it wasn't a fluke. Oh. Typically, when I was doing this, when I was rehearsing this, I was getting the dive every single time. now I'm not getting it at all. Let's try here. There we go. Okay. So you've seen it happen twice. So yeah, you only get the dive animation in water, which would suggest that this is going to be water. Quick look up there at the Karen thing that I'm building. I might give you a sneak peek later on, but well, not this episode because it's at the moment there's one tower. It's not particularly impressive, yep. Anyway, you don't need to hear me waffle on. I'll cut when I'm in the workshop. So see you in a tick. I forgot to mention about the Dark Elf Island, or indeed the Foundation Museum, or Museum Foundation Island world anyway. You cannot place new claims there. They are only the only things that you can that can be placed there are placed by game devs or employees of SOE. So you won't be able to say, oh well, I'm building in a Dark Elf style, so I'll plonk something there. You just won't be able to. There's no claimable land on that world. Equally, well, they say there's no resources there, but there actually are. There is dirt there. There are trees there, and you can harvest these things. What there aren't is ore nodes, and there aren't any caves. They did mention that in future islands there may be caves, like for example for dwarves. I'm quite surprised there weren't for. Sorry, I smacked the microphone there. I'm quite surprised there weren't caves for the Dark Elves, but they have hinted that there might be caves for specifically underground races at a later date, but they're not the sort of caves that you will be able to go down and explore with a view to getting any loot. So yeah, it is the Foundation Museum world and islands are just there for you to go and look at, and maybe even get a build placed there. But to start off, that's not gonna you can't choose to put something there. Only SOE can choose to put something there. Anyway. Once night falls, due to the vagaries of the lighting system in Landmark, once night falls, it'll be light enough in the workshop to get on to the next bit. So see you. Where's the sun? It's nearly sunset. So see you in a bit. And here we are in an hour illuminated workshop. Right, a couple of fairly big things this week are negative pasting and rotatable templates and pasteboards. So if we deal with the rotatables first, so let's select this handy block that I've built here. So there we go, copied, and now let's go down this end and paste it. So far, so normal. And if I switch the mode to rotation, you'll see that it is, as normal, 45 degrees. However, let's just switch back to that. If I enter tweak mode, and just to remind you, to enter tweak mode you press shift and then left click, you get the rotation here, and it is a lot more sensitive. So there you go, you can really go to town with it. Let's lift it out of the floor. I don't want it colliding with the floor, thank you very much. Let's paste it and escape. Now it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. You'll see there's a corner here that's slightly off. There's probably some artifacting around. It's not too bad though, and certainly this sort of angle is really difficult to achieve normally, and I'd say that the results you get here are pretty good. Not perfect, but there's probably ways in which you could make it perfect, or at least wiser heads than mine could make it perfect. I don't think I could. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. The thing is, the bigger the blocks and the bigger the gaps, the more voxels you're working with. In other words, in terms of thickness, the less artifacting there's going to be. The less distortion you're going to find in your pasting. Now, these are each, I think they're 3x3. Whoops. Let's run back to the original because I can't select quite what I wanted to. No, they're only 2x2, so 2x2 with a 2 square gap, 2 voxel gap rather. So that's pretty clean considering. If I dropped it down to 1 voxel, it would distort quite horribly. I'm told that microvoxels aren't pretty at all, but hey, you could play with it, experiment with it, you might get some awesome results. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, anything over 2 and you'll 2, 3, 4, you'll start to see better and cleaner results, I think. Now this brings us on to negative pasting, which is another awesome thing. This time, let's just take this up. Negative pasting is exactly what it says on the tin. Now this is the same obsidian, blocks that I've already copied. So no trickery going on here. Now again, you enter tweak mode, so shift and left click, and you've got an additional option here to remove the voxels. So you tick that, you tick it, and there you go. Boom. You have a negative template, which is fantastic. Now there's one thing that I suggest you not to do, so let's undo that and then paste it again. There we are. Let's enter tweak mode and let's rotate. Don't do this, and the reason why you shouldn't do this will become apparent. Let's really mess it up. There we go. Right, so we go. Get it right out of the floor. Rather, it didn't bugger up my floor. There we go. Tick remove voxels. Boom. And as you see, it's a mess. There is no sense of anything that's gone on. I assure you this was a solid block. Well, you just saw it was a solid block when I did the regular negative pasting. It does not play well at all with tilted pasting. Again, you might find a way in which you can combine the two, and that would be awesome. I encourage you to experiment, but just on the face of it, don't do that and expect it to work perfectly, because as you've just seen, it really doesn't. However, taken separately, the tilting and the negative pasting, they're fantastic, very useful. I hasten to add that the tilting you can do with any selection. Well, actually, both of them I think you can do with any selection. No. Negative probably won't work with props. But where was I? Yes. However, the tilting, you can select a large number of props and rotate those in any way, and then paste them, and then continue to paste them, and yeah, you'll be able to get to keep them in a pattern and yet rotate them, which is good news if you build with a lot of props. I don't think it's a particularly good idea to build with a lot of props. Well, to build primarily with props. Using them as accents is great, but using them to actually build a structure tends to be quite painful on the lag, and my poor old machine just can't handle it. When multi-threading finally comes in, things may well change, but we're not expecting that for a few weeks yet. So, and anyway, even if my machine does suddenly turn into a beast at running Landmark, I would still caution you against using lots of props. Certainly, lots of illuminating props. So things like glass panes are particularly bad, and also torches. Torches are appalling, apparently, because they've got the light penumbra effect, and they've also got smoke, and yeah, they cause quite a bit of lag. Light orbs, ditto, also cause quite a lot of lag if you use a lot of them in one place, but probably not actually as bad as torches. I have no idea where I was going with that, other than don't build with lots of props. Particularly don't build with lots of light props. Now, limitations. Negative pasting, you can do it with templates, with anything you've put on the clipboard, so anything you've copied and pasted. The one thing you can't do it with, you can't negative paste anything that you have bought from the store. So anything that's been built by another player and you have then purchased from the store, you cannot negative place that. The reason for that, I strongly suspect, is because it's not beyond the wit of man to be able to create a negative mould and then fill that, and then repaint the filler to produce your own knockoff version of aforementioned prop and sell it yourself. That's a rubbish thing to do. I'm not entirely sure that it's possible, but just on the off chance that it is possible, and I know there are some scumbags out there who would do it, not you. Obviously, you're watching my videos, therefore you're discerning and intelligent. But really, you know that if a thing like that can be abused, it will be. So I'm actually quite glad that you can't negative paste templates that you've purchased. You can rotate them to your heart's content. That still will be fine. You just can't negative place them. Honestly, why would you? Right. While we're talking about the store, new thing just in. Any template that you've put on the store yourself that's been active for 30 days but has sold 0 units, so if you haven't had a sale in a month, it will be set to an inactive status. Quite what an inactive status means, I do not know. It's, as I understand it, probably won't be deleted, but you might need to pay or, at best, click to reactivate it. I'm not 100%. I don't use it the store at the moment, so I couldn't say. Honestly, I don't see the point at the moment of jumping through all the tax hoops to sort that out. For me, I'm sure, you know, I know there are people out there who are using the store, and good for them, and I hope they make lots of money. It's just not for me. Now, I think that brings us almost to the end. We've just got one more thing, and that is an outfit. So if I here, let's pop it up. New outfits, not that one, that one. Let's pop it on. There we go. The Traveller's Attire outfit you can now craft. Previously, I think you had to buy it, and there's a number of colours. Apparently, there's 6 new ones. I don't know what they were before. And the new ones are yellow, red, emerald, orange, black, and green. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this look. Far prefer my formal, but there we go, that's better. But then I'm not everybody, and I don't share, not everybody shares my good taste. Anyway, you make them obviously on the gosh, I've forgotten it. The needlework table, the sewing table, the name of which I'm afraid escapes me. But yeah, you make it on there under the Outfits tab. All very simple. Just take some basic fabrics. So that about wraps it up. If you found this useful or entertaining, or I don't know, whatever, please leave a like. If you have any questions or any comments of any kind, please leave a comment down below. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a dislike and a comment telling me what how I could improve things. That would be lovely. Oh, and before I forget, and I have to say I genuinely forgot this. I'm very sorry. I meant to mention it earlier. What I'll do is I'll mention it in the clickbaity title and direct you to here. But I have some codes to give away, which is awesome. So I've got a bunch of 7-day closed beta codes. So if you don't play yet but would like a week-long taster to decide if you fancy playing it, then just drop a comment in the comment section below, saying beta code, or I would like a beta code please, or whatever, as long as it has the words beta code so that I know what you're after. Then fantastic. I will pick some at random, and will sort of week on week just sort of send them out. I have a few codes, not a vast quantity, but a few. So it's going to be kind of first come first served. Once the next video comes out, this will be shut off. Also, I have some gem seekers to give away. Now these are the hour-long version of the gem finder, which shows you location of gem nodes around the world. Now I have 3 of these, and all I will need you to do to get one of those, or to have a chance at getting one of those, is to leave your in-game name in the comments section, saying with the words Gem Seeker, or I would like a Gem Seeker please, or send me a Gem Seeker now, whatever, but that Gem Seeker and your in-game name. I will be sending this through in-game mail, and I might even visit your claims before doing it. So I would rather this go to people who have already bought into the game, already know that they're going to play it, rather than the same people who are on a 7-day trial. If you're still on a trial, you don't know, you haven't made your mind up, probably. This is for the people who have made their mind up, who want to stick with it, and quite fancy a gem seeker code. So there you go. That's how you do that. And that brings us to the end. So thank you very much indeed for sticking with me this long, if you have, or thanks for skipping to the end. Anyway, see you next time. Take care. Toodaloo.